Alright guys, welcome to your next Android tutorial. Now this videos and the next few videos probably will be talking about the two main methods of performing multi-threading in Android. Now multi-threading is a bit of it's a conceptually difficult concept sometimes. It can get very confusing from time to time and things can get mad. But essentially, why are we multi-threading? Or what is multi-threading? Multi-threading is essentially the simultaneous execution of code on two threads. So in Android, okay, the Android system has one thread by default called the main thread or the UI thread, and I'm going to refer to it as the user interface or UI thread. That's your main thread. Now we're going to start up and we're going to make a new activity in a minute, and I'll explain what happens when you block the UI thread. Okay? But I'll show you what multi-threading actually is. So we're going to create a new class, and we're going to call it multi-threading. And it's going to be of a type activity. We're not going to make CTIV activity. There we go. Technically we should use fragment activity, but I'm not. Actually I will use fragment activity. It makes sense in the end. Yeah, fragment activity, because in case we need to stick a fragment in there or something, it'll be better than changing it later on down the line. So we need to create our layout for this, blah 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 blah. So we're going to go do that now. We're going to make a new layout, and we're going to call this threading. Multi-threading. Next, finish. Because I'm lazy, we're going to go back to our multi-threading.java and our main activity.java, and we're just going to copy and paste the onCreate code because I'm really lazy and I don't want to block up this whole video. This thing is going to take some time, okay, to show you how this works. We're going to be using extensive use of the toast. So that's multi-threading. We don't need this anymore. Okay, and then we just need to change this to multi-threading. Okay, that hasn't actually picked up on that change yet, but it will now in a minute. It'll fix itself in a second. So now that we've got that, we need to alter our multi-threading layout, and we're just going to put we're going to put two buttons in here. Okay, I'm just changing. If you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm just changing the gravity to give the two buttons. Okay, and we're going to alter the text on these. So we're going to call this what you call it? New string. So we're going to call this a new thread. Okay, and we'll say pause. Actually, pause new thread would be better. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to deliberately stall Android system for more than 5 seconds. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so we're going to say pause. Second thread. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to edit text for this one, and we're going to call pause. God damn it. And we're going to say pause main thread, or pause UI thread is actually a better one. So we're just going to see what's going to happen. Okay. Okay. So now we have two buttons. We're just going to register on clicks for these as usual. Okay, so then Android on click, and we're going to say pause main, and we're just going to copy and paste this property onto the next button, and pause second. Actually, we'll just put a thread on these. Okay, so we're just going to put those new methods in here. public void pause main. That's how I write methods, but I always start with a small letter and then capital F for each word. View v, and we have to have that view v, or you won't get this working. And just copy paste that. Pause second thread. Okay. Okay. And we're also just going to modify our main activity to handle a new button. So main activity layout. As you can see, starts getting out of control very quick with tabs. Edit ID. Actually, no, we can just put an on click on that. We don't need an ID. Edit text. New string. I said multi-threading. Better make those small errors just in case something bananas happens. Okay, okay. And we just need to go in here and make our Android on click method as usual. It's much easier than going through the reams of code to get this to work. And then we'll say multi-thread or launch, and just call it multi-thread. The reason I'm teaching you guys this one of the more advanced topics like this early on is because this is a huge deal in Android lately. Multi-threading is a big part of Android's system. Now what we're actually going to do here is we're going to show you how to prevent stalling of your app. And we're going to run over some ground rules in the next video. The next video is going to be a lot of talking, so we're going to say multi-thread. And this is going to be our multi-threading. Okay, and we don't need that extra. Okay, so now we have something to launch our class, bring it up. We just need to add the new activity. Instrumentation manifest. There we go. Add activity, and we're going to add our multi-threading. Save it, and multi-threading is now there. Bingo. So we're just going to let this run. We're going to boot this up, and while it's loading in, we're going to start talking about why you need multi-threading. So in Android, and you'll see now in a second, I didn't actually execute it. I'm just going to make sure that our multi-threading class works. Okay, something happened. Okay, before I go fixing that problem, we're going to just very quickly in our multi-threading, in each one of these we're going to add a new thread.sleep in each one. Now what this does is this essentially makes or deliberately makes things pause. So we're going to make things pause for 6 seconds, 6,000 milliseconds, okay? And in order for this to work, you have to surround it with a try catch as well. Okay? I'm just going to copy paste that code. Technically I should put that in its own method, but I'm lazy. So we're going to see what happens when we pause the main thread. Now both of these are going to pause the main thread naturally enough, but you'll see what happens. Okay, so I managed to solve this cursed problem. I've no idea what was causing it, to be honest. I think it was just a bug with Eclipse or something, but I just made a new main activity layout, copy and pasted it, and it worked. Don't ask me why or how, but it did. But anyway, if we hit multi-threading, it brings up. Now we're going to pause the main UI thread, okay? And oh, look, we're lagging. We're getting buttons. It's not responding because we've locked. We've essentially did was that line of code locked, and we've got an activity not responding. The ANR dialog. This is the worst thing you could have happen. Now we're going to talk about this a bit more next time. We're actually going to get into multi-threading, but this is the worst thing you could have for your application. So next video we're going to actually talk about building a new thread to handle long operations.